Hello, welcome back, welcome new listeners. Today's quote is from Mark Twain, and he says he was a humorist. He was at one time in America about the most famous man. His humor was written in newspapers, and he had a column once a week, nationwide. All kinds of newspapers all over the country posted his humorous columns. He often talked about politics, and he was a stand up comedian, one of the first and most successful. So he says, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. So that certainly can refer to politics, people, or any number of other groups, organizations, institutions that we just generally don't question. We just go along with the crowd, we go along with the herd. President Kennedy wrote a book, A Nation of Sheep. They just follow along with the herd. We're told not to swim against the current and to march in step with others. But I'm not talking about society. I'm not talking about the government, politics, or other institutions which may or may not be valuable to us. I'm talking about the belief that we're a person. I just talked about that recently, and here we are again. If you just don't question, if you don't have the curiosity to investigate, what is it that defines you as a person? And where do you find it? When doctors cut you open for medical reasons, can they find a person in there? When they do an autopsy, can they find a dead person in there? They find a dead body, they can't find a person. So a person must have something to do with consciousness. And the scientists are still arguing about the nature of consciousness and what it has to do with the brain and what it doesn't have to do with the brain. And the Buddha teaches it's not the brain. It doesn't technically have anything to do with the brain. It comes into our being as a person. It stays here on a lease agreement with the body, and when the lease runs out, consciousness continues. So we're, as practitioners, we must demand of ourselves to investigate common beliefs that we have not questioned. We should question what the Buddha teaches. We should question what scientists teach us, what biologists teach us. The point is, instead of just going along with the group, we need to withdraw. We need to have some isolation, some separation from the culture and the society as often as we can, an hour a day or more. We need to go places of solitude where there's only natural sounds, the nature, Mother Nature, undisturbed by human interference, and see if we can't calm down and investigate this whole idea that I'm a person and I have these problems in my life. I also have these pleasures in my life, and I, me, mine, I, me, mine. We need to investigate that, and only each of us can do it for ourselves. Nothing I say, nothing the Buddha teaches, Jesus teaches, Krishna, whoever great people have lived in the past, no matter what they say, it's just hearsay until we find out for ourselves what the truth is. And once we find it, nobody can steal it. It's the most valuable treasure we can discover within our own consciousness. and nobody can steal it from us. We'll be living there peacefully and joyfully in spite of what happens in the world. Okay, thank you. Contact us anytime. Give us suggestions how to improve our channel and what topics you might like me to address. Thank you. Okay, cut.